The walls at Yankee Stadium are shaking, and it's not from a home run. A seismic trade is about to go down that could change the fate of our season. I've got the details nobody else has. You do not want to be left out of the loop on this one. Subscribe now and hit the bell so you don't miss this bombshell. What's up, Yanks Nation? Welcome back to the channel. This is where you get the straight dope, no fluff, with the kind of analysis you deserve. I'm smelling that thing in the air, that scent you only get in July. The electricity that comes right before the trade deadline. And folks, the chatter is getting hot. I've got inside info, and I can tell you one thing. Brian Cashman is not messing around. He's ready to make a splash, and when I say splash, I'm talking about a move that's going to send ripples through the entire American League. The New York Post, via the always plugged in John Heyman, just dropped a bombshell that confirms what my sources have been telling me. During this year's 2025's All-Star Game, Heyman spoke with an executive from another franchise, a guy who knows the game, and the message was as clear as day at the stadium. The Yankees are going to do something big. And when a rival exec says that, you better pay attention. This isn't smoke. It's not some cheap internet speculation. This is the league acknowledging that the evil empire is gearing up to strike. And we, the fans, the real bleacher creatures, know what that means. It means the front office has identified our holes and is willing to pay the price to build a championship roster. And let's be real, we have clear needs. 3 spots that demand immediate attention if we want to be hoisting that trophy in October. First, and maybe the most glaring, we need a third baseman with some serious pop. A true bomber to anchor the hot corner. Second, a reliable arm for the starting rotation. Someone who can slide into the middle of that rotation and give us 6 or 7 quality innings on a consistent basis. And third, but no less important, an elite bullpen arm. A guy who can put out fires in the late innings and bridge the gap to our closer. Let's start with the most obvious need, third base. The name at the top of everyone's list, and mine too, is Eugenio Suarez from the Arizona Diamondbacks. And for good reason. The man is a home run machine. Right now, he's sitting at 4th in all of MLB with 31 homers and tied for 3rd with 78 RBIs. 78. Just picture that bat in the middle of our lineup with that short porch in right field at Yankee Stadium just begging for it. It would be a nightmare for opposing pitchers. Suarez brings that legitimate, game-changing power that turns a good lineup into a feared one. He's the type of player who can change the game with one swing, and we desperately need that threat. He took a pitch to the hand during the All-Star Game, which gave us all a scare, but the x-rays came back negative. Thank God. He's good to go and he's on the market. Now, there's a catch, and it's his contract. He's a free agent after this season. That means for any team that trades for him, he'd be a short-term rental. And I know what some of you are thinking. Are we going to give up prospects for a guy who could walk in 3 months? And my answer to that is absolutely yes. Look at our team. Look at the talent we already have with Judge, Soto, and the crew. Our window to win is right now. It's not in 2026. It's not in 2027. It is this year. When you have a chance to add a bat of Suarez's caliber, a guy with 31 home runs in July, you make the move. You add that piece and you go all in for the World Series. The impact he would have on our lineup protection would be immeasurable. Pitchers couldn't pitch around our top guys anymore. They'd have to face somebody, and that somebody would be a guy with moonshot power. The ball is now in the court of the Diamondbacks GM, Mike Hazen. Arizona is sitting with a record of 47 wins and 50 losses. 11 games behind the Dodgers in the division and 5.5 games out of the wild card hunt. Hazen has said publicly that he badly wants to be a buyer, but the reality of the standings might force his hand to become a seller. And if he decides to sell, Suarez will be the most coveted piece on the market. And we, the Pinstripes, have to be at the front of that line with the best offer on the table. Brian Cashman knows it. He understands the urgency. The pressure is on. And he's ready to do what it takes to bring another ring to the Bronx. Now, a smart GM like Brian Cashman never puts all his eggs in one basket. As much as Eugenio Suarez is the prime target, the capital A Plan A, there are other options being closely monitored. And it's my job to bring these names to you. According to Heyman, and this lines up with what I'm hearing, Ryan McMahon of the Colorado Rockies and Brian Hayes of the Pittsburgh Pirates are 2 names being discussed internally by the Yanks. These are 2 very different players, but each could, in his own way, fill that hole at third. Let's talk about Ryan McMahon. He's an interesting player. He's got power in the bat and plays solid defense. The big question with any Rockies hitter is the Coors Field factor. How would his power translate away from the thin air of Denver? However, Heyman noted he's hitting better after a brutal start to the season, which shows an ability to adjust. He doesn't have the eye-popping numbers of Suarez, but he'd still be a significant upgrade, and because he's under contract for longer, he might cost a different package of prospects. It would be less of an all-in move and more of a calculated one, perhaps with an eye not just on 2025, but the future as well. Then you have Ke'Bryan Hayes. The name Hayes carries a special weight for older Yankees fans, as his father, Charlie Hayes, made that historic final catch in the 1996 World Series. Ke'Bryan is, without a doubt, one of the best defensive third basemen in all of baseball. His glove is pure gold. The issue has been the bat, which hasn't yet lived up to the lofty projections he had as a prospect. He's shown flashes, but the consistency hasn't been there. The thinking here is that a change of scenery, getting out of a rebuilding situation in Pittsburgh and coming to the bright lights and pressure of the Bronx could be exactly what he needs to unlock his offensive potential. Imagine that defense on the left side of our infield next to our shortstop. It would be lights out. If his bat could even get to a league average level, he'd be an incredibly valuable player. It's a bet on talent, on bloodlines, and on upside. But the conversation doesn't stop at third base. Like I said, the Yankees are looking at arms. A starting pitcher is crucial. We need a name who can slot in behind Garrett Cole and give us postseason certainty. The pitching market is still taking shape, but names from teams that are out of the race will start to become available. Think of veterans on expiring deals from teams like the Angels, the White Sox, or maybe even the Marlins, an experienced arm who has been to the postseason and won't shrink from the big moment. Cashman is a master of finding these guys. He's done it in the past, and I'm sure he has a list of targets ready. Likewise, the bullpen needs one more impact piece. In playoff games, the difference between winning and losing often comes down to a single relief appearance. We need one more lockdown guy, a dude who comes in for the 7th or 8th and just shuts the door. This not only deepens the pen, but it shortens the game for our starters, taking pressure off them. The market for relievers is always volatile, but quality arms always become available. Cashman will be looking for a pitcher with high strikeout rates and a track record of success in high leverage spots. The strategy is clear. Fortify every front. Build a team so deep and complete that it's bulletproof come October. The Bronx Bombers aren't just looking to make the playoffs, they are arming up to dominate them. So to wrap it up, the headline news is that the front office is ready for a big move, likely targeting an impact third baseman like Eugenio Suarez. But they have contingency plans with guys like McMahon and Hayes, and they're also actively looking for reinforcements for the starting rotation and the bullpen. The message is clear. It's World Series or bust mode activated. Now I want to hear from you, the real Yanks Nation. What do you think about these potential moves? Do you go all in for Suarez, even as a rental, or do you prefer a player with more team control like McMahon or Hayes? And what arms would you like to see bolstering our pitching staff? Drop your comments below. If you want to stay ahead of the news with deep dive analysis and inside info on our Yankees, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on those notifications. Things are about to get very, very interesting.